before I get into this video, I'd like to apologize for the fact that you'll be hearing a gremlin. So, I do apologize for that, but there's nothing I can do about that. But yeah, so now with the starting profile, this video is gonna be relatively normal for most of it. Once I'm done with the regular Skyblock update, I'll get into how I want to get into farming. Now, yes, this is my 200th hour farming, the 200th hour on the playthrough, but not my 200th hour farming. I'm probably on hour 100-ish, would be my guess. Now, you might say, well, where did the other 100 hours go? They went into mining, clearing garden plots, flipping. They went into other shit, right? Now, yeah. But the stats are 1510, which puts me in the top 3.5% of cane farmers, which puts me in late game farming. I think I can say late game farming, right? So anyway, that's pretty cool, right? That's pretty nice. Now, with all of that being said, it has been a long time for that to happen. So here is the plan for the profile. The original plan was I was going to hit farming 60, and then I am going to start working on mining. Now, the plan for mining was to go onto my main profile and roughly recreate the mining stats I'll be having. So then I can figure out how many hours it would take, how many days, and then weeks. And then I was going to spend the time I had, the extra time I had, that I would need to spend farming to get the money to mine. Now, I'm still going to be doing that, but I'm going to do it differently. Before, I was just going to farm, that entire month extra until I had as much money as I can, and then I was going to farm. I'm going to be doing this not very differently, but a little bit different. What I'm going to do, I'm going to figure out the gear, and then once I have the cost of the gear, I'm going to farm just enough to get the cost of the gear. So once I can afford the gear, I'm done farming, and I'm gonna go mine. You might say, oh, well, why is that? Well, because how I'm gonna play the game has gone differently. Because originally I thought I was gonna go mining and then go into dungeons, which is not what I've decided I'm gonna do. What I've decided I'm gonna do is I'm going to get into foraging. I'm going to get max foraging. Again, I'm gonna do the same thing, right? I'm gonna mine, and then once I'm done with mining, I'm gonna do a foraging test. Once I do the foraging test, I'm gonna figure out the math, and then I'm going from there. Now, fishing, I'm gonna get through minions. I'm not manually fishing. Hell no, I got fishing 50 on my main 2 minions. I'm doing it this way. Right, I'm not manually fishing. Now, I have 1 fish minion and 1 cobblestone minion on my island. That is it. So what I'm going to do is once I hit alchemy 50, the plan for alchemy 50 is I'm going to get 18 stacks of sugarcane. I'm going to put a sell offer for all that sugarcane. I'm going to buy the exact amount I need to get alchemy 50. I'm going to get alchemy 50, and then I'm going to be done with alchemy. Once I have that done, I'm going to start working on minions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get, first off, I want to get like basically all the collections except for magmafish, inferno minion, cherry pepper, and gemstone and mithril. I'm gonna get all of those manually. Everything else, hardstone, I'll get manually. Everything else will be through minions. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use the money to get minions. Now, of course, I need super compactors and large chests and enchant lava bugs, shit like that. Once I have all of that, each time a minion is done with a collection, I go into another collection. Once every collection is done, I'm going to getting all fishing minions. Once I have fishing 50, I go into slime minions. That will take some time, but all the profits from clay minions go back into clay minions. So it'll go from enchant lava buckets, magma buckets, plasma buckets. Then I also eventually fly caterpillar. That'll be a lot longer down the line. Now, at some point, I might switch up my money-making methods, because as much as farming is nice, the money from mining is way better, but it's also more active, so I will decide later. Now, once I have mining 60, we go into foraging. In the meantime, I should have. Now, my goal is to have the minions up and running by Monday, which leaves me with today and tomorrow. With all of that being said, it's going to be pretty fun. Now, mining should be honestly my favorite. I love mining on my main, on this one. The plan for mining is, right now, I'm just doing my daily commission because I need Harder Mountain 6 to get the Von armor. Now, if I don't have Harder Mountain 6 by then, which I I might not. One thing, 45k, 15. I'm definitely not. So I'm gonna have Soul Armor. Now with the Soul Armor, I need it anyway, as it's the second best Max Fine set in the game. Technically, it's tied with Max Crimson, but then it also is either tied or worse than Primal. Now, I'll talk about Primal later. Not a whole armor set. Now, once I have all my skills maxed, and then taming I'll do once everything else is done, because I don't want to, it's just the Rift Pet. Once I get the Rift Pet, I'm gonna buy everything else. Now, with all that being said, what I'm gonna do is once I have, subscribers 57.2, whatever, then I'm gonna get into, then I do Slayers, right? Now, the original plan was going to be mining Slayers dungeons. I'm doing this thing. Why? Because between clay minions and fishing, between fishing and then foraging, I should make a decent amount of money from foraging. Not a whole lot, but a decent amount, right? So, I'm going to take all of that money, and then I'm going to buy Slayer stuff. Now, what do I mean by Slayer stuff? Well, I want to do Spider Slayer with a hype. So, here's the plan. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, by week 8, I need to have farming 60 done. If by week 8 I don't have farming 60, then I'm going to start using a rabbit pet. So, until I hit farming 60, and I instantly go on to the next thing. Now, let's say I get farming done by week 7. That means that whole next week, I have met all of my goals. I can play TF2. I don't have to play Skyblock until the 8th week. Now, mining, I think I need about a month, which means by week 12, I'm going to say 13. By week 13, I need to have mining 60. If I don't have mining 60, I prioritize homework and nothing else. Not sleep, not eat, nothing else till I get mining 60. Now, let's say I get mining 60 by week 11. That means for the next 2 weeks, I can do whatever. Now, let's say I give myself a month and a half to do foraging. Let's say by week 20, I want to have maxed foraging. Let's say by week, 24, let's say by week 24, I want to be max skills playing dungeons. Alright, which, whatever. Week 24, playing dungeons. Now let's say I'm on week 18. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say if I play 4 hours a day, weekdays, average, right? Because Fridays versus, average. Let's say 10 hours a day on weekends, which would be 40 hours. Let's say I play 40 hours a week average in that 6 weeks. If I can make 9 mil an hour farming cane, that means in a week I can make 360 million coins. So what I'm going to do is, okay, so by week 24, I want to start Slayers. Let's say to week 24, let's say to week 18, and I have some money in the purse, whatever, and I go, okay, if in the next 6 weeks, I can make, theoretically can make, 100 mil, right, so 360 million, times 6, I can make 2.1 billion coins in the next 6 weeks. Is that enough to buy a hype? If the answer is yes, okay, if I can buy a hype, okay, in the time it takes for me to be done with my skills to when I should be starting fishing, or to when I should be starting farming, catacombs, dungeons, then I will go, then I will farm. I will farm until I have what I need. So I will farm until I can afford a hype. Now, the reason is, Spider Slayer with a hype is way better. I remember I got Spider Slayer on my main, I got Spider Slayer 9 on my main profile by using a Flower of Truth, Liver Dagger, and Shadow Assassin. Yeah. it was alright, but Hyperion, right? So if I can afford a hype, or if in that allotted time I can buy a hype, then I buy a hype. If not, then I grind up enough. Now, by this point, I should have, by the time I have max skills, we're gonna include taming in that. So I wanna have max skills. By the time that happens, if I don't have the money to buy what I need for Slayer, then I get the money. So, let's say, now, if I can afford a hype, which I will take the amount of coins I have, minus, plus how many coins I can make in the following time. I won't include minions, because minions are minions. Now, with all of that being said, I can afford a hype, and what I will do with it is I will grind up to a hype, get counter 24, and buy a hype. I'm gonna not account for Storm. Here is why. So I'm gonna do the math as if, okay, here's what I want to do. The reason I want to do dungeons first is I want to go into dungeons with a Tem and a hype. Okay. I want to fucking skip Jujunat. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get E-Man 7 and the minimum requirement for everything else. Okay. Once I have E-Man 7, I will go into dungeons. Now, floor 7 is gonna be a bitch to land, but the thinking is, right? If I have the money, the money to buy hype, then I can be a mage, and I can be a good one, right? Now, in order with a term as a, this regular 4-7, I'll be goated now. Let me think about this. I'd have to run the numbers, but if I remember correctly, you can get 700,000 HP an hour farming, foraging. So that's 80 hours. That's nothing. $80 hours can get done in 2 weeks. So, okay, let me think about this. Okay, we're gonna do everything in 4-week chunks. Okay, mining should be done by week 12. Foraging between week 14 and 16. Fishing doesn't really matter because I'm going after minions now. Combat is gonna be the ones. Okay, once I have every skill but combat and fishing maxed, I will go into dungeons, and then taming. As long as I'll get the rift pet, but other than that, I'm going off. What a level it is. So except for combat and fishing, once every other skill is maxed, I get Terminator. Once I get Terminator, let's say, God, what week? Because alchemy and carpentry will be done for me. Yeah, week 18, I could be done with everything. Which is fucking, not everything, but for me to go on to the next you know, area of the game. Next area of the game, Slayer, you get Terminator. If I can do two T3s, God, 100 hours. Now if I do T4s, I need remnants, which okay, we'll do T3s, which would mean maybe about 50 hours to get maxed. Even until say 100 between failing. So that puts me at, by week 22 to 24, I should have Terminator. Now, I wonder how much EXP it would be I mean, that's really not bad. That's really not bad, right? I mean, Terminator plus hype, it's like 3 billion coins. Okay, okay, let's say I get maxed powder. That is 100 hours. Let's say I got 100 hours. Huh. 100 hours to farm. Say 100. Wait. Okay. 100 hours to get max powder. In that time, I could make 900 mil. Okay. No. I'll do the calculations afterwards, but that is the profile outlook. Now I'll move on to what I would do if I'm against farming. First off, pick one crop to farm. Don't pick 3. Pick one main crop. One of my main crop is the one crop you farm. Like for me, I picked sugarcane. Now times to farm other crops. You do this as an Iron Man, which I fucking respect you for, but I mean, I do. I respect you for it though. You might want to pick mushrooms. I would not pick them first, but your final main crop would be mushrooms. Now, the only crops I wouldn't want to do is cactus. And I don't like, me personally, I would not do melons. Sorry, mushrooms. But anything else is honestly fine. I do sugarcane because the base farm is basically already ready for you to AFK it. You need to do a few tweaks, and then you can be AFK. And this shit is the normal farm design with a few things with like, you know, a stack of cobblestone added to it at most. Now you need to make them 1 or 2 plots long. You know, I did sugarcane in 3 plots, but you know, that's fine. Now, the first 10 hours of the game, I would not recommend you farm at all. You do not want to farm at all. What I did is I got to level 7 in 2 hours, in an hour and 43 minutes. It might have been an hour and 39 minutes. It was like sub 2 hours to get Skyblock level 7. For the next 10 to 20 hours, I did a hot potato book flip. So here's what I would do. I would get level 7, and I would farm potatoes on the garden. Get the requirements to farm potatoes, and then farm potatoes. Now, I would also buy the replenish tool, the tool that like replenishes stuff, and the cheapest pearls compactor, but you don't need them. Then you want to unlock the hot potato book recipe. Okay. Once you have the hot potato book recipe, you will want to create a biography of enchanted potatoes, install sugarcane, craft paper, and craft hot potato books. Do this for, I would recommend for the average player, about 100 mil, but you can get away with less. Now, you're gonna want to buy a cookie, a god pot, a level 1 elephant pet, a level 1 epic rabbit pet. You're also going to want to buy the best personal compactor. And then you want to save the rest of the money. Cookie buff, god pot, elephant pet, and then a vacuum. Now, this point on you want to work on getting the melon, crappie, squash, and fermentor. Now, what you're going to want to do is at the beginning, you want to participate in a contest. Even if you just get a ticket, you want to get at least bronze in the ticket in this stage of the game, because you should have a few million, tens of millions, but not more. Now, what you're going to want to do is, so once you're done farming, sorry. You don't want to be farming, right? And then what you're going to do is you're going to farm melons until you have the materials for melon armor. Now, the two purposes your coins now serve, and if you want to play the game for fun, don't listen to me. But if you want to, progress with the game, you're gonna take this advice. If you've never played the game before, do not take this advice. You're gonna get burnt out. If you played the game before, you know what you're getting yourself into. With that being said, what you're gonna want to do is buy nothing except for god pot, cookie buffs, and visitor. You're gonna buy the materials for visitors. Now, when you accept visitors, use your rabbit pet. When you farm, use your elephant pet. Okay? Just do that. Now, another purpose of coin serve is if you, let's say, you hit the requirements for melon armor before you have the materials for melon armor. You're gonna buy the materials for melon armor the second you have the requirements. So, but if you farm with an elephant pet, you are going to you're gonna have the items way before the requirement. So, once you have all of the melons you need, once you hit farming 22, I would buy Rancher boots. I'd buy them earlier, but you can buy them whenever. But once you can use them, you have to buy them. And then, you want to farm melons until you have the materials for melon armor. Once you have the materials for melon armor, you're going to start farming the crops to get crappie armor. And I might say, but I don't have, a crappie. I don't have melon armor, so I don't get crappie. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. So, you're going to farm to get the materials that you need. Now, let's say you have melon armor, you have the materials for crappie armor, and you're getting the materials for melon armor. So you have, for squash armor. You have melon armor. Once you hit farming 25, once you hit farming 30, right? Yes, once you hit farming 30, you can craft crappie armor. And then you're working and then you have started getting the materials for melon armor, for squash armor. You see on your little tab, Jacob's contest, 20 minutes. There's a wheat contest, sugarcane contest, and a cocoa bean contest. What contest do you pick? Now, I did with the question wrong. So, let's say you have all the materials but crappie. If you have the materials for crappie armor except for the crappie and you don't have the farming level, if you see a Jacob's contest that will give you crappie, you farm until you farm only for that contest. If you have the crappie, you do the melon, right? And then you just repeat. So once you have the materials for squash armor, you start going to fermentor. Once you have fermentor armor, once you have the materials for fermentor armor, this is the time you pick the crop you're going to farm. You could pick it while you're getting fermentor armor, like I did, but this time you're going to want to pick a crop and stick with it. I did sugarcane. Now, what this would look like is you would say, my friend's farming melons. What he'd do is he'd do one thing, buy it off the edge, or capture himself. He'd buy a melon dice at 3,000 plus, whatever the fuck. Get cultivating, get it recon, get it blessed, get harvesting 5, and then you want to build a fully AFK farm, fully semi-AFK farm. Don't know what that means? Google it. Watch a YouTube video. And then from there, you just want to farm. Now, you should have, you should get a set of locust pieces. Once you have said locust pieces, you're going to, so once you have fermenter armor and you pick your craft and you have your tool, if you were to pick melon, pumpkin, cocoa bean, mushroom, cactus, any of those crops, it's gonna look exactly like the mountain dice, just with your specific tool. Get a specific enchant, so like turbo cocoa, turbo whatever. Now if you're doing sugarcane, netherwort, wheat, carrot, or potato, you need to buy a mathematical blueprint, surround it by 8 stacks of the regular, and then for tier 2 you need a stack of Jacob tickets, 4 stacks of the second tier, and then for tier 3 4 stacks of Jacob tickets, 4 stacks of the enchanted condensed version. So for me, I needed 8 stacks of regular sugarcane, 4 stacks of enchanted sugar with a stack of Jacob tickets, and then finally 4 stacks of Jacob tickets and enchanted EK. Once you have a T3 hull, I would work on getting rooted and recalmed your locust armor. At this point, you can also consider getting green thumb. If you do consider green thumb, then you're gonna then you want to talk to every single NPC in the game that can show up at the garden. Now, once you have rooted on your equipment, you're going to want to get mossy on your fermento. Once you have mossy on your fermento, there's 2 routes you can do. At this point in farming, you are basically where I am. You might be a few farming levels lower than me, but you're basically where I am in farming. Which means, at the point in the game, I'd max out farming. I would. Once you're done with that, you can keep on farming for more money, or you can go on to another thing. But that is how I would farm. Have a good day, everyone.